A lot of fun.
Well, in the sets and the props, and then you were in this amazing wardrobe. And I read a Twitter from you. It was actually posted on another site, and it said something about horseback riding. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
They said that they wanted an actor that knew how to ride a horse for the role, and I quite honestly said, I have never ridden a horse before, but I'm willing to try. And so when I got over there, we had about a week of rehearsals before we started shooting, and I went out every day riding horses around. And as it turns out, I don't need to ride a horse a tremendous amount in the final cut of everything, but I was getting pretty good by the end.
I was reading that you looked to Elvis at one point for a role, something about shaking your hips. What's that all about?
Back in the day, I was a pretty shy, awkward kid growing up. I didn't, I kind of cried every day of my life till I was 12, that sort of thing. And so finally I joined the school choir, and then in some cruel twist of fate, they handed me the role of the Rum Tum Tugger in Cats, which is like basically the Elvis cat, and all the girl cats swoon over him and all that sort of crap. So if you can picture the dorkiest kid in school trying to play the coolest character in this thing, so I had no idea what to do. I was terrified, and so I studied a little bit of Elvis concert footage and kind of like, all right, and kind of tried to mimic the hip movements a little bit, just practice it up. And
I think it's great.
And then I did it.
Man, that's
it was
great.
That was my first experience with research for a role.
Sure. What about Glee? Do you watch Glee?
I do watch Glee. Yeah.
Awesome. What do you think about that show as a singer?
Well, you know what? It's a lot of fun. It's pure candy is what it is for that show. But they really do a good job. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure. I probably shouldn't be admitting to watching it, but
it's one of my favorite shows, Torrance, and we need to get you on there. How about that?
How about that? Let's get some letters written and make it happen. And while we're at it, we can get me on True Blood, and we can get me on
Torrance, you would be a great vampire, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you really would. For real, no kidding.
Oh.
I could see that.
We just need to let them know that.
I agree. Well, you've got an amazing fan base. I mean, you're so in touch with your fans, and that's one of the things that I want to personally thank you for, because it's often so hard to praise or thank an actor for their work, and you are very reachable. You're a very nice, down to earth person, and I really appreciate that.
Well, I do my best, while the fan base is still manageable, I'm going to try and answer as many questions as I can, talk to as many people as I can. It's just a wonderful opportunity to meet my audience, which I guess maybe is just a carryover from the theater days, but sometimes you do TV and you have no idea who's actually watching the thing.
Right, absolutely.
Or how many people, or if they actually think you're any good, or if they're getting anything out of it, and what's... The response has just been overwhelming and really humbling and fantastic. So I really love just hearing what people think, and good and bad, and it's all cool, I guess, because that's why we do it, because it's for people to watch and discuss and debate.
Well, what's next for Torrance? What have you got planned coming up that we're going to get to tune into?
It's interesting. There's some things in progress that I'm not sure exactly when we're going to see any release dates from them, but I just came off a movie called Afghan Luke and the Burgundy of Hash, which I don't know if how many people down south there have heard of a show called Trailer Park Boys, but it's pretty huge up here in Canada, and I know it had a bit of a cult following down there. And,
I've seen it.
The creator of that show has directed this film. It's kind of a dark comedy set in the war in Afghanistan, and we got a really great cast on it. Just a fantastic kind of irreverent script with that has the gravitas of a war film and just kind of the goofball nature of like a slacker comedy, and it's an interesting juxtaposition, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's just going to be awesome. So.
Well, we'll certainly look for that, and if someone wants to find you on the internet, they can do that as well. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. Pretty simply, you could head to torrancecoombs.com, and that kind of links to my Twitter and my Facebook pages. I do my best to check them as often as I can. Things are getting a little bit hectic these days, so I might take a little bit longer to get back to people, but I really love to hear from everybody.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by here, and we definitely wish you the very best in everything that you do, and hopefully you'll stop by again.
I would love that. Thank you so much.
Torrance, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you coming on the program. Folks, stay tuned. I'll be right back right after this quick break.